New legislation at the state capitol aims to close the gender pay gap. Representative Kristen Bahner of Maple Grove is the author of a bill requiring employers to disclose the pay range in job postings. Bahner says that revealing pay rates up front can help level the playing field between men and women in the job market and improve hiring efficiency.
Most states actually do have equal pay laws on the books and have been in implementation for decades. In fact, many of them date back all the way to the 60s. What we have found is that, unfortunately, because there isn't very much transparency in the process, we have found that those gaps have moved very little.
The legislation would apply to any enterprise with 30 or more employees. Bahner says that 17 other states have already enacted similar laws. As the session goes into March, we continue to talk to lawmakers about what they expect to see. This week, we hear from Senator Warren Limmer of Maple Grove. Reporter Shannon Slatton spoke with him for today's Newsmakers.
Well, it's the beginning of a new session. It starts off kind of friendly, and then as we get into issues, then the lines start to divide a little bit, and you have a little bit of conversation, and sometimes that conversation gets a little wild, and at the same time, it's all part of the legislative mix. It's what we do.
Sure. We've heard a little bit about spending, and you've had some messages about that. What would you like taxpayers out there to know?
Well, hang on to your wallets is what I would say. We really are in for a tax increase. It's not going to happen conveniently in an election year. They'll have to address those issues next year in budget year.
Sure, sure. So you think we'll see some trickling of this over the next few years?
The taxes won't really increase. We won't feel the real impact until next year when a new budget year comes up, and that's when we're obligated to address those issues. I personally think we should start cutting back on spending, especially since we raised the spending so much last year.
All right. Something else that we've been hearing about is some work on the school resource officer bill and some of the legislation around that. Where do you stand on that?
Quite honestly, the school resource officer issue is beginning to resolve itself. I've been talking to law enforcement entities. I've been talking to legislators. I think they're sanding off the rough edges that really the first bill that came out, they bypassed a Judiciary and Public Safety Committee. They did it all on an Education Committee, Conference Committee. It never should have had new material added into a Conference Committee. That's just not done. Committees are like specialists in certain areas of law. Education knows nothing about law enforcement and how it applies, and what are the legal ramifications as well as the liabilities that a school officer might have to endure. Locally, Chief Werner in Maple Grove, he withdrew his SRO officers out of school. They added a little bit of personnel around school areas on their normal roster, but at the same time, he did the right thing. If anything would have gone wrong, it would have been a tremendous liability to either the city of Maple Grove or the Osseo School District.
Sure. But we expect to see some action on that.
I think we're coming to an end on that. We'll be getting our officers back this year, I hope.
All right. Senator Warren Limmer, Maple Grove, thank you very much for being here today.
Coming soon to Golden Valley, a new restaurant that's taking the spot of the former Mort's Deli. Mort's Deli had been open for 14 years in the Golden Valley Shopping Center until closing 2 years ago. The location will become a Mediterranean-inspired restaurant called Baia. The new restaurant plans to offer both upscale dining and a lunch-friendly deli. No opening date has been announced, but it's expected to be this summer. A new attraction in Maple Grove has become a big hit with pickleball players. But as I found out, Pints and Paddle is more than just a place to play America's fastest growing sport. As the old saying goes, if you build it, they will come.
I just wanted to play some pickleball and have some beer.
And if you offer them food and beer, even more people will come. At least that's the hope.
Never actually played, but then when you told me I could drink beer and play pickleball, I was like, I'm sold, so let's go.
Pints and Paddle opened in Maple Grove last August. offering 10 pickleball courts where up to 60 people can enjoy it once.
You know, it's kind of fun.
But if you talk to Connor Larson,
It's not just a pickleball facility. We're a lot more than that.
he's quick to remind folks that this venue has a lot more to offer.
You can just come here and get a beer and some great food and hang out and have a good time with your buddies, and you don't have to play pickleball.
One of the big draws is the self-serve tap room, which includes 78 varieties of beer, wine, and cocktails.
The cool thing is that you can just sample a bunch of stuff.
So we're gonna make a classic burger,
And then
then we smash it.
there's the food.
Nice and crusty.
Pints and Paddle lured chef Noe Lara away from a fine dining restaurant in Minnetonka.
Got the sticky ribs, nice and crispy.
Sticky ribs are one of the signature items.
The taste is really good.
Other popular dishes include the cheese curds, which come with a side of honey dipping sauce. Then there are pickle fries, a classic bacon cheeseburger, and a salmon salad for those seeking a healthier option.
It's really good food. When people come in and try it, like, oh my God, this is so good. I didn't expect this.
It's an active dining experience that's become an increasingly popular way to get people out of their homes.
I can cook decent at home. I mean, you've got to give me a reason to want to come out, and this is the perfect reason.
Pints and Paddle also aims to be a place to book events as well as hosting sports watch parties and trivia nights.